It's ordered.
Thank you, Chairman Langford. Every one of, Mr. Clancy, Director Clancy, every incident that we know of, there seems like there wasn't an adult in the room.
Yes.
That there was no one who provided that voice of saying, hey guys, this is not the way to do this. Hey, we have a responsibility that's higher. And so while we look at management and we look at resources, you said in your testimony, you talked about how the corporate culture of the Secret Service is a priceless commodity.
Yes.
Every day that priceless commodity gets threatened by agents not willing to be the adult in the room, not willing to be the person who stands up and says, knock it off. Because you can't do it just from a management standpoint. You've got to change the culture at the bottom. And I think that's one of the concerns we have, is that it seems like all of this has happened with a great impunity. And almost, you can't touch me, as the chairman just talked about, or it's okay to do this. And so I want to know, as we look at management changes, as we look at systemic rules and policies, those rules and policies are only as good as the commitment that people at every level within the Secret Service have for change. So what are you doing within the Secret Service to build capacity for people to be the adult in the room, to stop this at the source and say, this is not what we do in the Secret Service?
Thank you, Senator. This discipline system that we have in place now is relatively new. It's approximately 2 years old, and then which includes a table of penalties. In the past, discipline was handled at a more local level. Now, everything is funneled up to our Office of Integrity.
I don't mean to interrupt, but I'm not talking about discipline. I'm talking about culture, and obviously consequences are part of changing that culture. But what about the integrity at every level of basically saying, we don't do this. We don't go to hotels and hire, people to service us. We don't drive into the White House and disrupt a major investigation. We don't access a congressman's secret records. Yes. We don't do that. And who is the person, and how are we training people at every level to stand up and stop this behavior? Because I don't think we can do it just having hearings like this. I think we've got to restore this priceless commodity that you're talking about, which is the integrity element of the men and women at every level, knowing that it's their responsibility to help maintain the integrity of the Secret Service.
I agree with you, Senator. We have to do more in terms of communicating with our people. We can have all the training exercises and all the online training, but for example, I've been to approximately 10 of our field offices, all of our protective details. I speak personally to our agents. I walk around the White House, talk to the officers. I meet all the recruits prior to their graduation, both agent and UD. I tell them what they represent, what's expected of them. But I've got to do more of that, as well as our staff. We have to just keep communicating to our people. And again, what the Congress is doing today is a help to us and to our agency, because again, the seriousness of what we've done in this particular case resonates by these types of hearings.